Hi there and welcome. If you love making chocolate, you're in the right place. Today we are going to talk about tempering chocolate using cocoa butter silk. If you haven't heard what cocoa butter silk is, it's just a highly crystallized form of cocoa butter. All right. Now, we received a lot of feedback from you guys and we love the support that you're giving us and we love hearing from you. And the number one question has always been, can you make cocoa butter silk using the CocoPix? And today I'm going to tell you that yes, you can. And we're going to make cocoa butter silk and we're going to temper chocolate using the CocoPix. So stay tuned. The first step to making cocoa butter silk is cocoa butter. And here we have two forms of cocoa butter. We have cocoa butter callets and we have deodorized cocoa butter. Now you can make cocoa butter silk using either of these. The callets are tempered. The raw cocoa butter is not. But for the purposes of this demonstration, we are going to use the deodorized cocoa butter. So the first step is to break them down into smaller pieces and fill them into one of the bottles and then place them in the CocoPix and set the temperature to 33.3. Now we have placed the bottle in here for over 24 hours, so the cocoa butter is ready to go. And I'm going to show you now what that cocoa butter looks like. So just remove the cap, and here we have beautiful cocoa butter silk. You can see how shiny and beautiful it is, and you only need about 1 to 2% of this by weight to temper your chocolate. So let's do that next. Okay, so here I have melted some chocolate in the third chamber. Pretty convenient to have another chamber free just for melting chocolate. But by melting it at 45 degrees, what we're actually doing is we're removing all the crystals that are present in the chocolate so that we can temper it with the right crystals. All right. I'm pouring it into a glass bowl. That's just so that you can see the actual process of tempering. All right. Let me get a little bit of chocolate out there. That's good. And now we are going to cool it down until it reaches 35 to 34.5 degrees Celsius. I have a temperature probe over here, and this is a very accurate temperature probe so that I can measure the temperature accurately. As soon as it reaches 34.5, what we're going to do is we're going to add cocoa butter silk, and then the chocolate is going to get tempered. So I'm just stirring it now to cool it down. So as you can see, right now it's at 43. And we're going to cool it down. So we are back, and right now we are at 34.8. So we are pretty close to our goal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure out my cocoa butter silk. All right. Let me zero this out. Okay. And we are going to add about 4 to 6 grams of cocoa butter silk. So just a little bit more, and we're good to go. And now we just stir it in, and as I'm stirring it in, you'll see the chocolate thicken up. As you can see, the chocolate starts to thicken up almost immediately. All we need to do is make sure that the cocoa butter is spread throughout the chocolate evenly. and once we get to around 30 degrees centigrade, we're going to pour it into the mold. All right, so we are right now at 33.6. And you can see how much it has thickened up. So that's a good sign that it's tempered. Right? I can pretty much do this by eye at this point. So I like to wrap my molds in cling wrap after I have buffed and polished them so that I get a good shine. Get ready to be poured. And we are at 30. So start pouring it in. Just going to spread it out a bit. And give it a tap to get out all the air bubbles. And then we're going to use our bench scraper. And we're just going to get all the excess chocolate right out. Place this down here. Clean off my spatula. And our chocolate is ready to go. So we're just going to wait now for this to set up, and we'll see you back in a couple of hours to unmold the chocolate. Hi, welcome back. So the chocolate has had some time to set up, and now we are going to unmold it. But before I do that, I'd like to point out there are 3 S's when you're looking for really well-tempered chocolate, and the first S is shrink. And if you look carefully, you can see that the chocolate has started to pull away from the mold, and that's a good sign that your chocolate is tempered. And now for the big moment, the money shot. We are going to unmold the chocolate, so keep your fingers crossed. There you go. That's beautifully shiny chocolate, and that's the second S. So when you see this chocolate and there's a natural shine to it, that's what you're looking for. All right, and the third S is snap. So let's see if you can hear this. Yeah, that's beautiful. So that's well-tempered chocolate. So there you have it, cocoa butter silk tempering using the CocoPix to make your very own cocoa butter silk at home. So happy chocolatiering, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Thank you.